Hey, welcome to the Healing She Got Faith show. I am Lily. I am the founder of Healing She Got Faith, and I am the host of the Healing She Got Faith talk show. Healing She Got Faith is an organization that was created for adults who are dealing with grief and or on their self-love journey. During this talk show, we talk about grief, healing, self-love, but overall, we are encouraging you to love you the way you love the world, okay? So we thank you all for tuning in. Happy Monday and welcome to episode 124 in our Welcome Back series. Today's episode is called What Free Time Do You Have? So, let's be honest, I get asked this all the time. And to be honest, and my honest answer is, I don't. I just make time. So let's talk about it. I'll see you guys over in the, what's it called? The icebreaker. I'll see you over there. Welcome to the icebreaker segment of the Healing She Got Faith talk show. Here we pull affirmation cards from different affirmation decks. We read them and we say if they resonate with us, why or why not. This is our one and only icebreaker. We do it at conferences, professional developments. We do it on the podcast, obviously. And really, it's just to get us to start talking about ourselves and to get comfortable. We are here to promote having a safe space. And so while you're here with Healing She Got Faith, we want you to feel safe enough to speak about where it is that you are in life. We are your safe space. Alright, welcome to the icebreaker segment of episode 124. We're in our Welcome Back series, and this episode is called What Free Time Do You Have? So I have picked from the self-care empowerment cards. We picked from this last week, and so this is the deck of cards that asks questions. So this question says, how can I let go of the tendency to let the opinions of others consume me? What is one thing I can do now in support of this? How can I let go of the tendency to let the opinions of others consume me? I'm going to be completely honest with you. That is a human part of our experience. No matter how much work and healing and confidence we have accrued, there will always be somebody's opinion that will affect you. And it might not, you will probably get better at it. Like maybe you used to always be down on yourself. And so maybe you're at a point where now it's not necessarily like taking up your day. For example, last week at the end of the episode, I talked about speaking at a high school. And one of the things I said was one of the items of grief that like people don't talk about is the grief of old self. So grieving your old self. And I asked like, well, what do y'all think that means? And one of the 9th graders, no, she said she was 10th. One of the 10th graders said, I remember when I used to be carefree, like in middle school. And I was like, yes, because the girly in middle school had no fear. The girly who turned 33 has all the fear. I was like, I'm getting ready to come speak to y'all, and I just knew y'all was going to make fun of my outfit. I just knew because it was something different that I was trying out, and they was like, they all thought, they was like, no, your outfit's cute, da-da-da. But the opinions of others affected me, and I was nervous. I was nervous that my pants, looked like I had a wedgie. I was nervous that my stomach was sticking out. Like all this type of stuff. The opinions of others will always bother you. The question is, how can I let go of the tendency to let the opinions of others consume me? So I said bother, the card says consume. I think there's a difference. I think some of us have really been consumed of other people's opinions, and that has been me. My whole life has been based off of like, oh, well, you don't wear heels, so like you're not really a woman, or you don't wear clothes that match your body style, or it's always you should do this, why don't you do this, you should do this. It's never been like my voice. It's always been somebody else's. And so I've had to learn to say, okay, I hear the opinion, but is it what I need or is it what you need? Also, too, I've had to be honest and tell people I'm not looking for advice. I'm actually not looking for your opinion. I actually didn't ask you. And so, like, that can come off as rude. And some people may think that. And people will tell me I'm very difficult because of that. But the reality is I have to protect myself because for so many years I did not consider what it was that Lisa needed. And so there's an active practice of knowing that, like, hey, like, some people really mean well and other people just don't get the social cues. So what is one thing I can do now in support of this? I think talking to yourself, giving yourself your opinion first, going in there with the mindset, try not to be too indecisive, which is hard and it takes daily practice. So don't beat yourself up. But I think it's important for us to really know and appreciate ourselves and decide who we're taking opinions from. Decide who and what's important. You know, I do a lot of public speaking, so when teachers or social workers come and tell me how to speak, like, I have to be open-minded to they're giving me feedback, and yeah, their opinion might not be the happiest thing I want to hear, but like taking it at face value versus like personal. And then also too, sometimes when people are giving you their opinion, sometimes in your head, not to their face, but in your head, you got to ask them, I wonder if this is really towards them. So just do that. But the other side to all of this is it's a very human experience to have other opinions consume you and bother you. And so being able to say, like, this is a very human experience that I'm having, and being able to move forward from that. So that is my tidbit on the icebreaker. I am working on the opinions of others. One of the reasons why, like, I didn't market for like my podcast and my social media was because I was so scared of the internet and how mean people can be on the internet. And so now, like, just being authentic in it and just protecting myself from the overstimulation and from people's opinions. So I think it's just a daily act of you choosing you. So that's my tidbit. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of the day. Welcome to the topic segment of the Healing She Got Faith talk show. In this portion of the episode, we discuss the topic of the day, which is the title of this episode. So we really pride ourselves on talking about grief, healing, being present, and just having an opportunity to be safe enough to be who you are. I hope in this episode you're able to take it with you. And I hope you're able to give yourself permission to heal the way you need to heal. We love you, but as always, love you the way you love the world. Enjoy the topic. Right, welcome to episode 124's topic of the day. So, one of the questions I've been getting asked a lot, because I have been working a lot, and if you listen to last week's episode, I talked about my birthday and just like how I wanted all of that to play out, and just my experience with that. And one of the things that a lot of people ask, like, so what free time do you have? And the honest to God answer is I don't have free time in this season. And to be quite honest, I don't know that I've ever really had free time. I think I've just made my time free for the people I love, because I've never lived a traditional life, like, ever. I remember I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys are a long time listener, but I hired a career coach, and I remember being on like a coaching call with him and a couple other people, and I remember him being like, yeah, like, he mostly does his work at night because that's mostly what his life has entailed of. Like, he was a nurse for so long, then he was a social worker, then he started his own business, and so like during the day was mostly his wife and family time, and then outside of that was mostly like him getting his stuff done, because that was really the only time he had, because he had to make his life do what it do. Like, he never worked like a 9-to-5, weekends off, things like that. So he had to be very creative with his life. And that is something that I have literally just been struggling with my whole life. Like, I remember talking to my therapist about my life, like how I can go weeks with absolutely nothing, and then all of a sudden everything is scheduled at the same time and stuff like that. I just just don't know how to control. And I think like that was the thing I had to shift my mindset. Like it wasn't for me to control it. Like it's not made for me to control it, right? But it would be so frustrating. Like I would literally go weeks and weeks. Like I would have nothing planned, nothing. And then all of a sudden, 3 events in one day, everybody wants to do this. Like it was just so much, and I would get so frustrated. I remember like when I first moved to St. Louis, and I was trying to figure out how to get some extra money because I was a full-time entrepreneur at that point, and I started nannying. So when I first started nannying, I only nannied Tuesday, Thursdays, like 9 to 12. Okay. Then it went to Fridays, like 12 to 4 or sometimes 9 to 4. And so I remember like trying to meet up with a friend, and we finally got to meet up, and they was like, yeah, like I know it's hard to catch you because your schedule is crazy. And I'm like, well, actually, I only have something to do on Fridays, 9 to 4. And before that, it was Tuesdays, Thursdays. I just was busy from like 9 to 12. So like I had a lot of free time, but it just didn't align with yours. And I remember him being like, oh, I guess I didn't realize that. And I'm like, that's typical. Like most people don't actually listen to me. So like that's fine. But also too, I give a lot of information. I think I just genuinely end up confusing people with all the information I get. So like I actually talk a lot less now when I talk to people. Like I actually don't give extra information. Like if someone's like, are you free at 3? No. I won't give you any information, like any other information, because it just ends up confusing people. So, and I just remember that, like, and I always felt like that, like, people like, oh, you're always so busy. And I'm like, y'all be making this up. And I think part of it is, like, because I just don't like to talk on the phone, so people assume. But yeah. Anyways. So, my reality currently is, like, my free time is mostly during the day. And sometimes it's not all the time. But, like, because one of my jobs, I work, like, 85% at home. Most of my free time, because I can work remote, is during the day, which is the complete opposite of majority of people who tend to have free time. So most people's free time is in the evening on the weekends. I mostly work evenings and weekends, and most of my time is like in the morning. I tend to have to hang out with people, and it really just doesn't align with the people in my life. And this has been something that I've had to accept. And also, too, it's something that the people in my life have to accept, too. Like, it's something that I feel like people make me out to be so busy when really our schedules just don't align. And that's just something that we just have to be very intentional when it comes to hanging out. I wrote in the notes here, it says, as I'm creating this episode, I am realizing it isn't working and hasn't worked because I have always been a people pleaser. Ooh, what was I going through? And trying to follow everyone else and be there for others. I want to fit in. I want to listen to the $5,000 coaches, all the shade. And I want to listen to the pastors that say it's this way, and that has just never been my life. My schedule just doesn't align with other people's schedules, and this is something that I have to accept. I have had to be honest with myself and with the people around me. Life isn't a cookie cutter, and every day I'm making a very intentional decision to figure it out. I'm really figuring out what works for me and what doesn't. And I think that's it. Like, I think I'm in a season of my life where I'm really figuring out, like, what is it that works for me? What is it that I'm doing? What is it that I'm not doing? What's working? What's not working? What is it? And I kind of shaded, like, the $5,000 coaches. So, like, there was a time in history recently where, like, all these people became coaches, like life coaches, emotional coaches. All these people became all these things, and they were, like, trying to teach people how to live their life, how to better themselves, like 10 ways to catch a career. I don't know, like 10 ways to better yourself and things like that. And I had paid a couple coaches, and just the things that they were teaching me was very Instagram worthy. Like, they were Instagram coaches, because that was another thing too. Like, let's create these courses and give basic information, and And it was annoying. But like part of me was like, well, if they're getting paid like $5,000 per customer, like clearly it's working. Like I need to be like them. And then also too, like I took it back to church, like when church be like, oh, God ain't gonna give you more than you can handle, and God. And I wanted to be that person so bad. Like I wanted to be that person that just had this cookie cutter life, a simple soft girl life, work 9 to 5. I go to book club on Wednesdays. I go to arts and crafts on Tuesdays. I go to pottery class once a month. I go to yoga and Pilates. Like I wanted that cookie cutter life, and it just didn't work out. And I was listening to all these like professionals say, well, like this is how life should be. When really like the reality is we all just have our own life, and we all just have to figure out what works. And in different seasons, it's going to look different. And I'm having to figure that out. It's going to look different in different seasons because every season is not going to be the same season. You're going to have seasons that are more busier than others. You're going to have seasons that are more fruitful than others. And it has to be. And you just have to accept that. I think about my friends, and much like my career coach, who are parents and nurses, and they work 12 to 16 hours. Hell, they might even work 24 hours, and nobody questions them. I look to my friends that are entrepreneurs, and they work every single day, and nobody questions them. Like, nobody is like, where's your free time? Like, people are genuinely supportive of them. But because, like, my life just doesn't make sense to the majority of people, there's always a question. So what are you doing? So what is it? So what does your day-to-day look like? Where's your free time? Why can't I see you? Why don't you answer the phone? Why don't... Give me a break, please. Give me a break and meet me where I'm at. Love me. Love me. I have never been traditional. I've never looked traditional. My life has never been traditional. So give me a break. Work with me. Work with me. If you truly, truly, truly want to spend time with me, create the quality time. I have been asking for quality time from people for a long time. I've set the boundary, like I don't always want to go to my building. I don't always want to just sit and chat. I do want to experience life. Like we're in St. Louis, there's a lot of free stuff that we could do. There's a lot of dope local things that we can do. Create the time. And I know like sometimes people are like, oh, well, we've tried to schedule in advance, and I get it. The reality is like I work majority weekends and evenings. And so if there's nothing that we can't adjust to do like during the weekday, that's kind of hard. And I remember like 2 years ago, I went through this phase where I was like, I only want to go out during the week because like the weekend is my time to decompress, clean the house and things like that. So like I used to go to this karaoke bar every Thursday. Loved it. It got a little annoying because they sang the same songs and there was always these performers there, and like that got a little annoying. But like it was a group of people that knew me, and we were just there every Thursday. I've always wanted to do a pottery class. I would love to do a pottery class on like a Wednesday. But also too, like I wanted to have like date nights with my friends. Like I remember last year being very intentional with my friends, being like, I want to date y'all. Like I want to get to know you. I want to experience it. And it just didn't work out. And, this year I have an evening job and a weekend job. And so like I have to like very intentionally like almost a month to 2 months in advance request off weekends. So like the other day I got a text message that was like, oh hey, me and so are going somewhere on November 9th. We registered for this event a year ago. Why y'all just not telling me? Like a year ago y'all knew y'all was gonna go. Y'all just decided right around the corner y'all was gonna invite me. Like I just don't live that type of life where I could just drop everything I can do. I do got one friend who's like, will randomly always say, I know it's last minute. I know you don't do last minute, but like I'm off. Do you want to do something? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. I just don't have that life. And I have to be very intentional about it. I myself go through my schedule and figure out like what days I want off and what events I want to go to. I've sacrificed not having a social life because of work. I'm currently in a season where I am getting out of debt. I mean, I don't know if anybody can imagine like literally going from six figures, 850 credit score. No, I was not an 850. I was like a 700 credit score to all my credit cards were maxed out. I was now back in debt. My credit score had went down because being an entrepreneur and going through a season where I did not make money really put me in a bad place. Like I was really in a bad place. And then on top of that, trying to get a career, trying to go back into a career field, and they just want to pay me 30 to 40,000, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is not going to work. Like nothing's working right now. And it was really hard for me. It was really hard for me to navigate through that. And so now I have to do a lot of sacrificing of getting out of debt. Like I'm literally like on a budget to where I'm like paying things off, but also to like I have money now and I'm like doing what I want to do. And so in this season of my life, like I have to be very intentional about my free time. I have to be very intentional about what I'm doing, what's happening, what's going on. Like I have to be very intentional. Like, and I've talked about this in a couple episodes, like with both my jobs, I'm literally going month by month and just picking random days to take off. And if things happen. It is what it is. Whew. But I say all that to say, like, I'm just in a season where I don't have free time in the season because I'm picking myself up from the ground, and I'm picking myself up from my life that just took a turn, and not to say in a bad way, but my life is teaching me a lot right now. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I say all this to say, yeah, I don't have free time. And with a lot of therapy, inner work, rest, and boundaries, I can honestly say in this season, I have to make it. And what I mean by that, I just have to make the free time, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's the beauty of where I'm at right now is I just have to make it happen. I just have to be okay with my life. And the people that's supposed to be here, the people that's going to get it, they going to get it. And the people that's not, I still love you. It's no hard feelings. It is what it is. But maybe you're in a season where you don't have a lot of free time. Or maybe you're in a season where you're trying to figure out this free time. Maybe you're in an isolation season. I don't know. And currently I'm in a season of really trying to create my village so that we can have time and things. Like I've always told my friends, I don't want to see you every day or talk to you every day, but I do want intentional quality time. And that's all that I ask from people. I just want quality time. Like that's it. That's all. You can't just randomly say Friday we going out. Life don't work like that. Like please respect my life and please respect what I got going on. Majority of my friends are married with kids. And I respect their time. Like you got husband time, you got kid time, you got work time, you got entrepreneur time, like you got all that. So just respect my time. And I think like for me, I just have to set the tone of requiring people to respect my life. Like I think people think I have a lot of free time because of the way I presented myself. But then on the other hand, people think I'm busy because of the way I presented myself. So at the end of the day, just ask me and just plan ahead. Like that's it. That's all. So yeah, I don't have free time. Today's episode is real cute, short and simple. I kind of just wanted it to be that way. I think last week's episode was a little bit longer than intended, but I think like all in all, it's just remember the simple things in life. Like if you don't have free time right now, that's okay. Just be happy about it. Stand in it. Stand in your boundaries. It's okay. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into the icebreaker. I love you, but love you the way you love the world. And I'll catch you next week. Bye, guys. All right, so you are now about to hear our affirmation. I want to give you an affirmation to carry for the week. So from Monday to Monday, you at least have an affirmation that you are repeating to yourself every day. She got faith. Listen, we want to give you affirmation to get through the week. So enjoy. Welcome to episode 124's affirmation. So today's affirmation is, my time is precious. I am now intentional about myself the way I was about everyone else. Ooh, that was so good. My time is precious. I am now intentional about myself the way I was about everyone else. I know for myself that I have intentionally been there for everybody else and considered everybody else. And now is the time to put that same energy into me. That's our life quote. Love you the way you love the world. Put that same energy into you as you do the rest of the world. Your time is precious. Your life is precious. Everything that you are experiencing is precious, valid, and you deserve your time. And I know in this season, maybe it's busy and you're working multiple jobs and you're doing it to do what it do. And let me tell you, that is okay. And the people who are for you are going to be for you, and they're going to be there. And there will be people who show up and love you. You make a difference in this world. You are amazing. My time is precious, and I am now intentional about myself the way I was about everyone else. I am in a season where I can no longer continue to consider everybody else because I was not considered. I have been working really, really hard and working on my self-love, my health, my money. I'm getting myself back to a place, and it takes a lot of sacrifice. We sacrifice a lot when we want to get healthy, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And the people who are supposed to be here will be here. I can promise you that. So my time is precious. I am now intentional about myself the way I was about everyone else. I love you all, but love you the way you love the world, and I'll catch you next week. Bye, guys. All right, we have came to the end of our show. I really appreciate you for listening and sticking with us and coming every Monday at 3 p.m. Central to hang out with us. I appreciate you guys. I can't thank you enough. To my listeners, followers, everybody, friends, family who loves and believes in everything that I'm doing. I really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you, but I always want you to remember to love you the way you love the world. And I'll catch you next Monday. Bye, guys.